Do you want to sit?
Thank
that's
you.
fine. I'm not here as a journalist today.
Oh, that's right.
This is your
issue.
What?
This is your issue.
Aloha, good morning,
Yeah, I
Madam
know.
Chair. We have 8 testifiers here today.
See ya.
Thank you.
I obviously would have to say
Why, may I?
decide if I gotta go.
Good morning, Madam Chair. We have no testifiers today.
And Ms. Ford has let me know that we have 4 testifiers in Ka'u, but we do not have, I see Ka'u.
Hi guys, on
Thank you. We
ladies
restored
on,
the video.
bus fees, they're still charging $1.
So Ka'u, do you have 4 testifiers?
Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 4 testifiers.
Skateboards, yes.
Okay, thank you. And we have quite a few here in Kona. I have about 21 testifiers, so I'm going to ask our first 2 testifiers to please come to the table. I'd like to call Auntie Elizabeth Lee.
How many did she say, 16? I didn't hear another number. 12? I mean, how many did you 21 in Kona?
Very parrot-like.
Yeah. No kidding.
You can't stay when you just wanted to see.
Thank you. And just a reminder to all the testifiers, we have a 3-minute rule for public testimony. And you'll hear a buzzer sound at the end of 3 minutes. And I would like to ask you, out of respect for everyone that's here today, to please summarize at that point so that we can continue to go through all of our testifiers. So thank you very much, Auntie. Excuse me. Wait. Can you press the bar on the bottom of the mic stand? Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Aloha.
Yeah, you got
And so nice to have you folks and having me here. And it's a great pleasure. Thank the Lord for bringing me here. And thank my son for driving me down. And thank for everyone here. Aloha. I'm so grateful. And so I feel so proud and happy for what is going on at Kohanaiki here. And it's something that I didn't think that it was going to be the way it is today. And so grateful for everybody's help and making it so convenient for everyone that has come down to use the beach, to use the area here. The buildings that are building there are so surprised to me because I remember when I was a child, there was nothing but donkeys and cows and all wild animals here. But today, there's none of them here, but the people is so great. Thank you folks very much. It's a pleasure to be here and enjoy you folks and take care. All I ask with everyone to take care of the place, to help it clean up, take your trash away and what they have, take it home and do something for the benefit of the whole public in our area. Thank you very much.
What it is, we're happy for what's going on there. Yeah, it creates jobs for our community. We've been fortunate, to be able to work there. My mom's happy for conditions there, the sanitary, the bathrooms and the road that makes it more comfortable, especially for kupunas like them to come down to this. And I hope you all support or accept this part. We have a lot of culture, culture items that have been taken care of because of what has happened down there, and that's what we're proud of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And first, I'm sorry, I failed to mention that was Reggie Lee and Auntie Elizabeth Lee, both in support of Resolution 129. Thank you very much. I would like to take a testifier from Hilo now. And while I'm doing that, I'll call our next 2 to come to the table. So Angel Pilago and Jim Stogie, can you please come and take a seat here? And Hilo, you can present your testifier.
Hi, Ms. Chair. Our first 2 testifiers will be Corey Hardin, who will testify Resolution 131 and Bill 86 Draft 2. And our second testifier will be Mr. Joel Smacatelli, testifying on Bill number 86 Draft 2.
Thank you.
Good morning, Corey Harden, supporting Resolution 131 about scuba spearfishing and the Puako Fisheries Management Area. I'm speaking for myself. I support the scuba spearfishing ban. It's troubling that when Bill Walsh, a biologist with Department of Land and Natural Resources, DLNR, he was asked if DLNR would take stronger measures to protect reefs, and he said, there are people, decision makers, in denial. Walsh supported the scuba ban in a report that he wrote recently, and so did 90% of testifiers at hearings. But DLNR chairperson William Isla dropped the ban from proposed fishery rules. Last week, Isla also refused to hear testimony at a DLNR briefing on rules that included the scuba ban. This was despite a packed meeting room and an agreement in a legal settlement years ago to take testimony at briefings. Environment Hawaii newsletter filed a formal complaint. The day after the briefing, news broke that reef fish, coral cover, and an algae that's a precursor to coral growth have all declined at Puako and Paoa, and reef fish have declined at other West Hawaii sites. On the scuba spearfishing, Walsh's report says it's banned by most Pacific Island countries. So what's wrong with it? Well, it's so good at killing lots of fish that it may actually cause local extinctions. Scuba spearfishers can sneak up on fish while they're sleeping in their hiding places that used to be safe, and so there's fewer refuges where populations can be replenished without danger. The scuba fishers can target big fish and take large numbers of them. This may leave small fish who reproduce less, and it may leave few males in the population. One study says there's evidence that selective harvesting of the largest of slow-growing species is more damaging than harvesting a larger biomass of juveniles. The scuba spearfishing ban is not about fishing styles. It's about our food supply, sustainability, science, precision, democracy. Please support the resolution. On Bill 86, I'm
opposing it. Speaking for myself, I want to thank Brenda Ford for being the one council member who voted against this fare hike last time. About 1 in 7 Hawaii County residents live below the poverty level. About 1 in 5 is on food stamps. I wonder anyone on council has researched how this fare hike is going to affect low-income people. I wonder if anyone has asked resorts to help pay for the bus. It's a high percentage of the ridership, but when the mass transit was asked about a month ago if the resorts have been asked to help pay, she said she didn't know that. As far as she knows, has not happened. Has anyone what it taxpayers to support cars? We have to build and maintain roads and bridges, traffic lights, street lights, parking spaces, and we have to have harbors to import all that fuel. We need police, fire, and ambulance trained and ready to go out at a moment's notice for car crashes. We need to deal with deaths and injuries from car crashes. We deal with pollution impacts to health and the environment, and acres of valuable land are paved with asphalt. When you have a car, an average household in the U.S. to buy, maintain, and operate a car is the largest expenditure after housing. Households likely to use public transportation on a given day save almost $10,000 every year. Former County Council member Pete Hoffman, after years of experience with public policy, concluded that free bus service was not an economic burden to the county, but an economic driver. People are asking, why is a road called an investment in infrastructure, but a low bus fare is called a subsidy? I'm disappointed in this bill. We didn't even see anything where you can get a day pass, so every time you transfer, you don't have to pay at the fare again.
We should not be raising fares. We should be restoring free bus service. Thank you.
Thank you. The next testifier.
Hello, my name is Joe Smuckatelli. I'm here also in opposition to Bill 86. I just wanted to point out that the student composition, a lot of students at U of H and HCC, I'm a student there, a lot of them come from poor backgrounds. They get scholarship from religious organizations. They come here from other countries to study and go back home and be an asset to their communities. And a lot of them can't afford to pay the added fees for riding the bus. I think the council should look into ways of getting more capital to support the bus system instead of taking money from the poor people. Like for instance, delinquent fees from people who do dumping. They've been delinquent for several months, maybe even some of them for years. It's just a cost of doing business that they should have to pay, and they're not paying. Send them to collections, get the money, pay for our bus system. Commercial use, commercial vehicles, raise their taxes, pay for the buses. They're leaving a carbon footprint. They should pay for it. Plant some trees with the money. Vehicle registration, raise it. Abandoned dump sites, raise the fines for those. I worked at an abandoned dump site. It's not very pretty. I guess that's about all I have to say. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Kohoa, can you bring forth two testifiers, please?
First, we have Maureen Pustka, who is going to be speaking about her support for Bill number 82. Good morning. I'm here to request your approval of Bill number 82. Hawaiian Paradise Park has received more than one informal notice of violation from the Clean Air Branch of the Hawaii State Department of Health for our lack of control of fugitive dust. The fugitive dust is generated by vehicles traveling on our unpaved roadways. A letter submitted to the Clean Air Branch by the association attorney in written response to our violation states, the association has ascertained by experiment that driving a motor vehicle at 15 miles per hour along the roads greatly reduces the expense generated. Our own fugitive dust committee established to find remedies available to us for the mitigation of dust. Speed, a number 2 factor in creating
establishing speed limits by subdivision that properly enforced by the police would help us tremendously in our effort to provide required reasonable precaution in controlling our fugitive dust. Please help us in our effort of achieving required state compliance. Please help us protect the health of our residents by moving Bill number 82 forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your next testifier, please.
Our second testifier is Kareen Haskin. She will also be speaking about her support for Bill number 82 as well as Bill number 83.
Good morning. Yes, I'm here in support of Bill 82 and 83, which would include Hawaiian Paradise Park, so we could have protection for our roads. Bill 82 specifically because of the dust, and if we had the police enforcing this, we would have less dust, less health problems, and 83 also. We need police support in our subdivision. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We got Tacona. Angel Palago speaking in support of Resolution 129 and 130.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair, for inviting us here this morning. And Chair Yoshimoto, mahalo for all the efforts. And County Council members, thank you very much for inviting us on this day, a very special one for all of us. and especially for me. I come from a time where I was asked by others to accept the task. Let me move on and back out of respect to cultural practitioners, Malu'i Lee, who is a living treasure amongst us, as a ho'olauna, a weaver of Lahala. She's not only recognized as a living treasure, but she is also a lineal descendant who has resided in this place we now hope to dedicate this day. The reason why I bring that up is they set apart a foundation for who and what we are. And they're the ones who call us to task to help us do the things that we see to create a better community and a better society. Alongside of her is past council member Virginia Isbell, political matriarch of the state of Hawaii, recognized nationwide, if not internationally, for her work in social services and keeping us pono. Together with her, the people that come in are of a generation of that I represent. You have past council member Curtis Tyler. So he was my predecessor, and he set the foundation for me in coming here, and he was part of the bicameral government we represent that represented the state, the county council. Part of him in the bicameral democratic process was mayor of this island, Mayor Harry Kim. These are the people that come by and help do the work with you. But the work we do need to be transferred as they work with us, guide us, and together with our lawyers, Luna Kanawai, to make sure that we follow the law of the land. In legal jurisprudence, Kohanaiki has set historical landmarks in having been successful at all levels of court, from the circuit court to the Intermediate Court of Appeals, all the way to the Hawaii State Supreme Court, and even given over to the United States Supreme Court, supported and brought back. So the legal foundations and implications that you said and we have said are truly historical. This is one of the efforts that recognize and set an anchor point for those landmark decisions. But these are all in the past. I am of the past too. One of the people that is of the present is Mayor Billy Kinoy. He was a part of it. He's not here, he's off island. He would have been here otherwise. But he was a lawyer and advocating.
Since you have two items on the agenda, we're going to reset the timer for another 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Because you're testifying on two items, we're going to reset the timer for an additional 3 minutes.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
I'll
Sorry
try
to
to
interrupt.
be brief. I have a hard time. I used to be a council member.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
Let me move
And
on.
I'm sorry
to our
about the
future
time
then.
limit.
Thank you for the reminder.
Okay.
But we passed these things. I'm of the past again. We passed these things on our future. And that's where Ke'ahi comes in. She was just a little girl when her parents took on the task. Today she represents us at the state level, international level. Together with people of her generation, I have in the back 2 young men, members of the Polynesian Voyaging Society. Kohanaiki Park comes with a halal. It's going to be deeded into the public trust. This public place, this halal, is also going to be given a double hull canoe. For the first time in the history of the state of Hawaii, you have a park going into the public trust. You have a law that signifies the unity and binding of our community. And you have a canoe, a double hull voyaging canoe that takes into the future. These are the young men back here, part of the Voyaging Society, who will carry our message of aloha throughout the world as we circumnavigate the world with Hokulea and Hiki Analia. These are the foundation things that you set this day. Please consider things, not necessarily in a historical context, but in a way to look at bringing things together so we can move to the future. You are our captains and our navigators. Our young men and women are your crew members. Let us make this canoe, Hawaii Island, a brave, true, and very powerful entity imbued with mana and aloha. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Sogi, also speaking on Resolution 129 and 130.
Chairman, council members, aloha, aloha to my friends and fellow surfers in the audience. My name is Jim Sogi. I was born in Hawaii. My parents were born in Hawaii. I've surfed in Hawaii for
Excuse me,
50
Jim,
years.
could you speak a little bit closer to the mic or straight into it? We have a little bit, it's a little bit soft.
I've been an attorney here for 32 years. In the early 1990s, I was asked to join and become vice president of Nakiki Hinunalo o Hawaii. It's a surf club whose goal is to preserve Hawaiian culture of surfing and to protect family values, the children of Hawaii, and protect the land. We ran a surf contest at Kohanaiki for 16 years. We did beach cleanups. We evicted the homeless. We evicted drug addicts. We picked up containers and containers of trash. We had the police come in. We went to court and spent years and years taking care of the beach. When no one was there to take care of it, it was kind of a wild, unimproved place, unrestricted access. We worked with Angel and Kohanaiki Ohana, who had fought development for 15 years and prevented Nansei from creating a mega resort there, which would have destroyed the beach and made a marina where the beach park is now. There would have been no access at all, no camping, no surfing, nothing like many of the other resorts. We negotiated with the new developers there as stewards of the land. We worked with the lineal descendants, Auntie Annie Coelho, Tutu Lee, the Kanua family. We worked with the County of Hawaii through Mayor Harry Kim and Chris Ewan, the planning director. We had the support of the Wave Riders Against Drugs, Jeff Fear, and a lot of the community members. And we wanted road access, we wanted input and management, camping, we wanted bathrooms, we wanted funding, we wanted setbacks, we wanted permanent height restrictions, we wanted permanent dedication and land restrictions for the landowners. And we wanted more, but we negotiated in good faith with them, and this is as much as we could get. We feel it was a very good deal. I would have liked more. We asked for more, but in the negotiations, we felt that it was as good a deal as we could get, and we're very happy with the park, the beach, the camping, the roads, the bathroom, and we get a lot of public support, and I think it's a real dream come true for all of us that worked on it, and I think it's a real blessing for the community, because without the park, it would have been chaos there, as it was before. So I urge the county to accept the park and to create it and to go forward in the future with a joint management as we set it up in the good faith agreement.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'm going to go to Ocean View, and your first testifier, please. And while I'm getting ready, I'd like to... Wait, excuse me one second. I'm just going to call up the next two in the corner, so we're ready here. Mr. Ralph Soderberg and Mr. Chris Ewan. Okay, go ahead, Ocean View.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We have Gil Robinson speaking in opposition of Bill number 86, Bill number 85, and Resolution 132-13, and he will be followed by Sandy Alexander commenting on Bill number 85 and Bill number 86.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning, County Council. I'm Gil Robinson in Ocean View, opposing Bill 86. Bill 86 would increase the bus fares, and there may be some unintended consequences associated with doubling the fares. Likely, there will be more passenger car traffic on our already busy roads. Also, some workers may not get to work and may go on public assistance instead. And of course, some students may drop out of school because of this doubling of the bus fares. I also opposed Bill 85, a motor vehicle tax increase from 3/4 cent to 1 1/4 cents per pound. That amounts to almost doubling the weight tax in a soft economy, affecting many of those who can least afford it. Finally, I opposed the proposed 4% salary increase for appointed legislative employees, amounting for an additional $2,000 a year on average for a group that is already doing quite well in our soft economy. It seems grossly unfair to find the county tax dollars to offer this group an extra $2,000 a year, while on the same day we're asking those commuting on the bus to pay double. Thank you.
Thank you. Your next testifier, please.
Good morning. My name is Sandy Alexander, and I live down in Ocean View for quite some time. I would like to first say thank you to Brenda Ford and the County Council for fighting the good fight to keep funding intact so that Ocean View residents can continue to participate in these meetings. Also, too, I would like to give a big mahalo to Brenda Ford for the Tropicare 2013, as it was a big success for this community. I'd like to say I oppose Bill number 85, the increase in the vehicle tax. With the economy the way it is, I personally don't feel that an awful lot of families can afford to pay that extra. On Bill number 86, the increase in the bus fare, from a personal standpoint, my husband rides the bus almost every day from Ocean View to, he works at the courthouse in Kealakekua. We have felt with the way the economy is, and also too the increase in vehicle taxes, that it's easier for him to ride the bus. What he has found is that there are such a huge amount of people on the bus when kids are in school. So he has decided that that's not the best time for him to ride the bus, because he usually gets to work late. Now that kids are not in school, he says the buses are probably about 2/3 full from Ocean View, and he feels that he gets to work on time and there are fewer stops obviously in between. I also had asked our neighbor's son to come and testify, but he said he couldn't because he had to get up early to catch the earliest bus possible in order to get to work on time. If we have more buses, more routes, more frequently, I believe that some of this would help. I am opposed to the bus fare increase, which may sound like a contradiction in terms, but I feel that there are other places that the money can be taken from and spent better on helping out the bus system, because I think we need more buses, not less. We need more ridership, not less, and fewer cars on the road. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hilo, do you have a testifier?
Hi, Madam Chair. Our next two testifiers are Shelley Mahi, speaking on Resolution 131 and Bill 75 in support, as well as Ms. Donette Sissi Godinez, speaking on Bill 86 Draft 2 in opposition.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hello, my name is Shelley Stevens Mahi, also known as Maka'ala Nakoa, and I also want to compliment everything Angel Pilago said. I think that's really wonderful scenario of everyone working together. I'd like to speak first of all on the Kuleana land tax exemption. I wanted to state, first of all, I have this letter here from Neil Abercrombie, the governor, thanking me for my work with self-determination for Native Hawaiians, and also for assisting in the transformation, helping to invest in people and transform government. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is the issue of the county working together with Kuleana landowners. And I really appreciate the tax exemption and the $100 fee and the clarification of what Kuleana lands are. I wanted to bring to the attention of everyone that the Office of Conservation and Coastal Lands with DLNR, if you contact them, their phone number 587-0377, that they can do certification of the Kuleana lands in a conservation coastal area. I also wanted to state that I do have a copy here of Civil Case 3RC 11-1-131 stating that district courts lack the power to decide questions to title of land. So I am just saying to the people that if you did have Kuleana land that went through the district court, you should recall your case, because according to a signed document from a Kona courthouse, that unless the jurisdiction of the court of the subject matter exists, any judgment rendered is invalid. So your land, your Kuleana land, may have been taken in a derelict court situation. And I just wanted to, bring that to the attention. Also, that under Section 1001 of Title 19 of the U.S. Code, it makes it a criminal offense to make false documents or misrepresentations to any department or agency of the United States of America as to any matter within its jurisdiction. So I'm just asking that if there was false documents, fake counterfeit warranty deeds to do with Kuleana lands, to bring that forth and rectify the situation. Okay. 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 She said I could speak about this. Do I let you know? Resolution 18-13 establishes a real property tax stakeholders task force. Okay. I needed to comment on this because there's an international Association of Assessing Officers, the IAAO report. And so this has to do with the taxation, different properties and whatnot. And I just needed to say, first of all, it's my suggestion as a United States citizen that the issue of taxing and placing tax map keys over Kuleana lands and land commission awards, that they should in no way obstruct the land commission award or Kuleana land on the map, which has been done with the S grants by DLNR to make sure that these S grants are not overlaid so far as in your assessment of tax map keys, because we found that these S grants are actually illegal. You cannot patent an already patented piece of property. And that I suggest that through the Cultural Resource Commission or some venue or avenue like that, that the Hawaiians, the Kanakamo'oli, are included in this task force, and to look at the issue of consultation under federal undertakings, that actually I believe you may have to do this, but also that the, what I suggest is that the taxes, to look at the situation of the land like a condo situation. You don't actually legally own the land beneath your feet because it does belong to the Hawaiian Kingdom, Land Commission Awards, the Mahele, the Kohanaiki, or the owner over the entire Ahupua'a. So in other words, if you want to remain with services, taxes, etc., to look at the actual infrastructure over the property and to look at who actually owns the property and make some better arrangement with them, then that's why the IAAO is lacking in its consultation and also in matters of jurisdiction. And that any of these maps that are in the Department of Planning, a lot of them are going to have to be redrawn, admitted by the Department of Planning, because these S grants that were issued by BLNR in conjunction with C. Brewer were actually done illegally. And to summarize, I will say again that in order to, getting back to Hawaiian self-determination under Title 11 for Native Hawaiians, I believe it'd be a step in moving forward to bring together the community so far as looking at tax assessment and actual law of the land in Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. And I wanted to talk about the scuba diving, the scuba spearfishing. I wanted to say that I'm in support of conservation, and I am in support of a management of fisheries. I believe that we should be looking at traditional kapu fishery systems, and also so far as this actual area of, excuse my pronunciation, but Wako, that basically were the original Hawaiians over ponds and whatnot in the area, who's
non-commissional ward and who's Ahupua'a, because they have opportunity water rights and fishery rights that extend out into the ocean. So they should be working with responsible parties. They should be contacted, and then all that effort should be made to look at the actual kapu system, and that to place especially certain fish that are look like they may be going extinct during certain spawning times and whatnot, to look at the native Hawaiian who might need subsistence fishery for his family, that there should be certain allowances for that family whose land and fish pond that may be. So I'm just stating here that I am in support of this resolution, however, with certain opportunity rights to the Native Hawaiian involved. That's what I have to say about that. And let's see. Okay, and I wanted to talk about the bus fares. I myself do ride the bus. I wanted to say though that I have ridden the bus in Honolulu, and it's done a little differently there so far as the transfers are concerned. Over here, for those who don't ride the bus, they may be unaware of what happens. Basically, you give them your dollar fee, they may give you a transfer. But in Honolulu, the transfer is good for 2 hours no matter where you go. As far as I understand it, you can connect at any connecting point, get on that bus and go. You have 2 hours, you can go shopping, you can go to your appointment, but as long as you use that transfer within 2 hours, you're good to go. Over here, it's a different situation. They won't, of course, allow it for a round trip, which I can understand that. But the bus drivers have informed myself and other people that you can use the transfer. It has to be used within 2 hours of that time. However, that if it's to a certain, say like if you go into Pahoa and you need to go on the Red Road route, they will not give you a transfer from Pahoa to an interconnecting bus that does go there. They've said, well, if we don't go there, we'll give you a bus transfer. But the problem is they're not consistent. Not all bus drivers do the same thing. So I'm just stating here that basically I think that if you are going to raise the fare to $2, at least give the bus riders the courtesy of having a transfer that is good for 2 hours no matter where you need to go. Because otherwise that hurts the people. We can't shopping, we can't go to our dental appointment or whatever we need to do within that 2 hours, which is the reason we took the bus in the first place. So, but I want to thank you for the time when you did have free bus rides. That was very helpful and got the people used to riding the bus. Maybe we need an increase, maybe we don't, depending on, you know, students I know cannot afford it. It's very hard. You're looking at, you know, upward of $20 to $40 a week if you raise the fare up, and that's pretty hard on students, I know. So basically, that's what I needed to say. And along those lines of bus systems, services, and whatnot that the county does provide, like I wanted to say, and I'll just go ahead and take the time to say it. As the County of Hawaii seeks amity, defined as peaceful relations with the Hawaiian people. So the Hawaiian people, as far as I've been told, do appreciate the services of the county. They do appreciate that, but also that the county is a municipal corporation of the state. The county does need to work things out with Native Hawaiians. I do notice a lot of folks riding on the bus, going to different projects and whatnot. but I'm just intertwining those together, and thank you very much.
Thank you. The next testifier, please.
Good morning. My name is Danette Godinez.
Good morning.
I am here because an incident happened on the bus. I didn't know about all these other issues. I went down to Helion and they told me about it this morning. My two children, they're 12 and 13 years old. They look like they're 10 years old. Didn't have the proper documentation, so they were left out in the rain in Kohanaiki, stranded because they didn't have proper documentation to show their students. Obviously, they're students, they're only 12 years old. There's a lot of things going on with the bus system. I know when I first moved here a few years ago, it was free, and I was one of the people that suggested we all pay $1. And I think that's fair, that we all chip in a little bit. At the time, there was a $75 million grant, and I believe the buses do come from Oahu or get refurbished or whatever. And I didn't see enough of an improvement in the services and the routes and so on to justify $2 per passenger and $1 per student. I too rode the bus on Oahu, and not only is their transfer system far superior, their service altogether is far superior. The buses run during peak hours anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes apart. They get you where you need to go. They also get you back. During hours that aren't peak hours, you get 30 minutes to an hour between each bus. Also, to get to a bus stop that is clearly marked as a bus stop, you only have to walk a few blocks, maybe a quarter mile at the most. When I lived in HPP, my car went out. I couldn't get to work. It's 4 miles to the nearest bus stop. There were no sidewalks, and I had the two children. What I see here is there is a need, as someone in Ocean View stated, for more buses. But until the service that the county provides meets the level of, or standard of that of Oahu or even the Bay Area, who they charge $2.50 per ride or $2.10 per ride, and it's a far superior system than the one we have now. Also, the HPP bus that was just implemented is just an existing bus route from Pahoa, and with existing drivers, no further monies have been added in order to drive through there. And if I had been living in the same house, I live in Hilo now, I still wouldn't be able to get to it because it'll be another 3 or 4 mile walk to get to the Hui, to get to the bus stop. So I do oppose this raise at the time. When the service improves, I have a friend named Carrie Walter, real quick. She suggested that we do what other bus services do and advertise. Maybe put advertisements on the buses so that we can raise money through the advertisements and not through the people who can't afford it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to Pahoa. Your next two testifiers, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair. We have Jeff Hecht in support of Bill 82.
Good morning, council members. My name is Jeff Hecht, and I'm here in support of Bill 82 in Hawaiian Paradise Park to keep the road dust down. And I just want to say we have a very serious problem. We have the Department of Health saying that they could sanction fines up to $50,000 a day in the park itself, $250,000 a week, to basically bankrupt the system that we have there now to try to maintain the roads. We are moving in a forward direction and a start with the speed limits and having them enforced by the police. But please keep in mind, it's only a Band-Aid over open heart surgery, and the only way to really resolve this problem is by alleviating all dust in its entirety, according to the Department of Health, how I see it. So I'm asking for your patience and your professionalism to stop any sanctions from the Department of Health. They could go over Hawaiian Paradise Park to put 100% negative direction over us, reduce the prices of the home values, and have a bunch of upset people because of the sanctions. So I'm just asking for your patience, professionalism, realizing we still have a long ways to go to resolve this issue, and appreciate all your help. Thank you very much.
Next, testify from the hold, please. This is Tina in opposition of Bill number 86, and she'll also speak on a few other matters on the agenda.
Hello, Madam Chair and other council members. Thanks for giving us a chance to testify this morning. I first wanted to speak in support of Resolution 129-13, which is turning Kohanaiki over to the county to public ownership. But I take a little bit of, the idea of limiting access, public access, by closing off the road to vehicles, which has been open for decades, so that a few can enjoy a private restaurant, things like that. I think that's appropriate for the spirit of keeping beaches open to the public. So I just want to urge all of you to rethink that one about closing off access. The second resolution I want to talk about is Resolution 132-13 about a legislative branch raise, 4% raise. I don't know how much you all get a chance to into the news outside of our island. May be aware that in Brazil, there's deep unrest. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people are in the streets right now protesting government corruption, government waste. It was actually set off sort of last straw by a 20-cent increase in the bus fare, which is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I'm relating this because in our county here, we also have a lot of people that are really, really struggling. And as we consider in one meeting both a doubling of fees for one constituency and then talk about a raising of salary for another, I would ask all of you to really consider what that sends out to the people that you serve, to your constituency. I understand that because the budget is in a little bit better shape, now we don't have furlough Fridays anymore, and we're able to restore some other things within the county government that have been missing, and that's a good thing. However, also knowing that our bus system is subsidized, it just doesn't sit right to be thinking about the hardship it's going to put on some people while some folks are actually making out pretty well with raises and such. So I ask you all to really rethink that whole situation. What I really have the most to say about is Bill number 86, the rise in bus fares. I am a bus rider. I'm also legally disabled and live on a fixed income of $710 a month. After my rent, after my phone, communication bills, those are my only set expenses. If I were to pay for the $45 monthly pass that is being proposed for disabled seniors and students, I'll have exactly $148 left to cover everything for the month. And I would ask you how, if any of you would be willing to live for a month on my income and just see how it is. Take the bus, get to and from everywhere that you need to go. I don't use the bus excessively, but I do use it several times a week, and even $1 per ride will be a hardship for me. At the same time, I did take a look at other places. We are unique in being an island, and so we do have our own needs, but we can take a look at places like Lane County in Oregon, which has a higher population of poor people that are below the median income and per capita income, but they have lower bus fares. They do have a different structure for subsidizing their bus, but I think it's important for us to look at all of this. We need to look at how efficient we are. I hear people over and over saying, what am I going to get for doubling of my bus fares? when is what is mass transit doing to rein in fuel costs and plan for future expansion relative to alternative options in fuel and transit? We now have a biofuel plant on the island. Is mass transit thinking about switching over to more efficient fuels? And I wonder why mass transit doesn't seem to be a vocal stakeholder in the larger conversation about energy self-sufficiency and sustainability on the island. How much does it cost to run that double-decker bus that I understand is full in the morning and on its trip back is almost empty? What can we do to take a look at how other communities are streamlining? And also driving efficiency. We have a lot of drivers that don't seem to understand the 2-second rule, which has to do with both safety and efficiency, fuel efficiency, driving up right behind other drivers wherein stop would put the passengers in danger. But it's also making us all pay more for our buses. So in summary, I would like to urge that the county take a look at doing efficiency, performance, and financial audits before we talk about raising fees on the back, at least afford it. And so that we can also be in accord with state law of aloha, so that we are taking care of our kupuna, taking care of those most vulnerable. And for that, I want to thank you for listening to us and hope that you make good choice today. Thank you and aloha.
Yeah, thank you very much. Back here to Kona, Mr. Ralph Soderberg.
Thank you, council members. Thank you so much. Members of the public, thank you for being here, participating in this great democracy of ours. I come representing the 8th grade teachers and over 2,000 members of what we call the Kohanaiki Trail, 8 students who, through sweat equity, over 15 years, helped to restore and maintain that section of the trail that goes through the property that we call Kohanaiki. I want to thank the partnership that we had with the Kohanaiki Ohana, who for 15 years paid for bus transportation, paid for water and provided shade, spiritual enlightenment, historical enlightenment through some of our great local citizens, such as Hannah Springer and Michaela Roy, Angel, Nita Pelago, Karen Eoff, and Gary, Becca Shoup, faithful there year after year after year to support this effort. Most of our students were aware of the beach. That was recreational for them for years and years. But very few are aware, and still many are not aware of the trail that runs just south of the beach section there. And that's what I'd like to speak to today. I'm totally in support of the beach park, and I'm also in support of continuing to maintain that trail system that goes around the island. Fortuitous today that the West Hawaii Today had the article on our trail to the north of us. It's a continuation of the same trail that passes through the Kohanaiki area. And I'd like us to remember the trail as a community resource. It's a historical resource. It's a way to teach our young children what life was like way back in the day. I see one of our ohana of the trail, Mr. Drew Kanuha, is with us today. He sweated on that trail during his time at Kealakehe. None of us will forget it. It's part of our culture, part of our history, part of our community. Can you envision the Kohanaiki Trail as being the Pacific Coast Trail of the Big Island? It could be a tourist resource. It could be a place where people come to learn more about our history. And so as we celebrate with the community this wonderful beach park, I just want to remind us of that backbone of that beach park is the Kohanaiki Trail. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chris Ewan, also speaking on Resolution 129 and 130.
Aloha and good morning, members of the council. I'm Chris Ewan, and I'm speaking in favor of
the council accepting the dedication of the Kohanaiki Park. This is a great day for Kona, and it's a great day for the Big Island. We're creating a 1 mile long shoreline park that will preserve the environmental and cultural aspects of Kohanaiki forever. And it's a park at the very doorstep of the most populated area of Kona, where people can come and enjoy it, just as many of the people in the audience here and their children have enjoyed it, and forever into the future. So it's something that we really need to be happy about. It's really a tribute to the efforts of those people that cherish the area and work so hard to protect it. It's also a tribute to the developer. They came here as developers, but one of the things that they developed was an understanding of the local needs, the Hawaiian community, and it led them to create this arrangement that we have here, where we have this shoreline park. And you're never going to see, you can go all around Hawaii, and you're never going to see a development, a private development, that's fronted by a 1 mile of public shoreline park across the entire frontage of the development. So this is really a tremendous thing. I hesitate to start getting into names because I know I'm going to forget some people, and there's so many people here who were involved in this. But I just have to say, Angel Pelago, Nita Pelago, Karen and Eoff, Gary Eoff, Curtis Tyler, Virginia Hisbell, Rebecca Shoup, Jim Shogi, and I know I'm forgetting. So many people especially on the side of the Ohana and the Nakeki group. On the developer side, Joe Root, Paul Pinto, Bill McWarrell, and earlier Ray Rutter, Dave Eady, who were with Rutter Development when we first made all these agreements. The current county administration has done a good job of shepherding this to its current point, but I have to say that there was a man that this would not have happened without, and I'm glad he's here, and that was Mayor Harry Kim. He was hands-on throughout the whole thing. This was one of those things where Harry was in up to his elbows and beyond in making sure that this worked and happened. There have been a little bit, I need to talk a little bit, there's a little bit of a disagreement about how the public access should be handled. And let me just talk about this just a bit. Whenever you're planning something like this park, you're going to have differences of opinion about how different things should be handled. Where should the parking be? Where should the restrooms be? And in this case, how should the public access be?
You can transition to your next item.
All of this actually was hashed out and discussed and negotiated almost 10 years ago, back in 2003. I know a little bit about this because I was a planning director involved at the time. And there was a public process. We had a big meeting at Kealakekee High School. We had 2 public hearings at the Planning Commission on the SMA permit, and how the public access is being handled today is exactly how it was spelled out to be handled 10 years ago in this whole process and in the SMA permit. And there's far better vehicular access to Pine Trees Beach, the most popularly used and the destination for most of the people that go there. There's far better vehicular access now than there was back then, when you had this pothole rutted road that you needed a high clearance vehicle to get to. Now, for the southern half, beyond that, there's a half a mile where from there to the national park boundary where it's going to be pedestrian access. You have to walk 15 minutes to the park boundary. And this is a good thing. This creates an area where you have an experience that's quieter, more peaceful than if you had a road 50 feet behind the beach. And it's fully open to the public. It's 100% public property with this dedication, and it's part of the public park. So this is a wonderful thing, and the access is going to work out just fine. The final couple of things I'd like to say is that this is one piece in a bigger picture. If you think about the shoreline of North Kona, from Kukio on the north down through the state lands at Honokohau, we have about 15 miles of shoreline that's mostly in public ownership. It's all basically undeveloped now, and it's basically available for public use. We have the Keikahakai State Park. Now we have Kohanaiki Park. This is a 15 miles of shoreline that can remain in public use and open space forever if we're vigilant about it and we pay attention to it. So when, at a time when so many times in Hawaii we are lamenting things that we have lost, here is a chance where we can celebrate something we have preserved and that we have gained. And so I want to thank you all, the council, for accepting this, as I hope you will, accepting this park dedication today.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go back to Hilo. Or no, I think Hilo doesn't have any more testifiers. I'll just check.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have about 5 more testifiers.
Oh, okay. Then I'll take your next 2 testifiers. And in the meantime, I'd like to bring up Harry Kim and Rebecca Villegas.
Our next 2 testifiers in Hilo are Albert G. Moniz Jr., commenting on Bill 86, Draft 2, and Tim Reese, commenting on various items on the agenda.
Go ahead.
Madam Chairman, my name is Albert Moniz, and I want to thank you very much for allowing me this time to share some thoughts. By my background, I've had over 40 years of riding the bus experience on Oahu, and I'm very well familiar with their system there. One of the things I wanted to comment about is what we really need before addressing the issue of a pay increase. We need to address the issue of efficiency. The bus system here is very poorly managed. I mean, we have, yesterday I was riding the bus and one of the buses broke down and they did not have a spare bus available for that driver to take. It took over an hour before the mechanics was still able to do something to get the bus running again. What we have in the form of a system here, we have several buses, I mean maybe 10 buses or more that leave, like in the morning they leave from drive, go out to Waikoloa to the hotels with the bus riders for the workers for the hotels, and they stay there, they sit there for 8 hours. The drivers drive, they take their 3-hour ride out there, they sit there sleeping in the back of the bus, walking down to the beach and all that sort of thing for 8 hours, and then they bring those workers back home. Meanwhile, the system has no, the buses are not being used. They're sitting there for 8 hours, not carrying any kind of, generating any kind of an income in any way. The drivers sit there and they're not paid for the 8 hours they sit there. And I think that's grossly inefficient, and tragically, I think we're paying the price for it. That's why we need to increase this, the ridership. I mean, this payment, raising the fare. What makes the system on Honolulu work real well is that it's an integrated system. When they use the bus pass, they know, they have already planned out the routes so that you come in from one side of the island to the other side, but they know you need to continue on to some other location. That first bus will drop you at a transfer place where you can catch another bus to go on to their work. And so I think what's happening is we really need to improve the system itself from the ground up and design it to where people are actually riding. The more efficient the system, the more people will ride it, the more of an income you will have. I do understand we need an increase in the money drawn in, but I think that will be done more through the ridership, the more people riding it than raising the price. Because I'm a fixed income and it's very difficult. Now I also would like to speak on that, it's Bill, is it 132.13? Oh dear, I had it here. The pay increase. We understand that the legislative branch, the personnel work very hard. They're dedicated to public service. But even though they've stopped or have had to stop the furlough fighting, we're still economically not in a solid foundation yet. That's why we need this increase in the bus fares. I think that they, you know, we're in a position where we all still need to sacrifice and commit ourselves to the improvement of our community. And it's not going to be just, you know, poor people that is going to have to make that sacrifice. I think we all have to together collectively to improve this thing. And just happened to be on a bus that day that that young lady said that her boys were put off the bus. It was raining terribly. It was pouring rain. And they're obviously school children, and the bus driver required them to have their school ID, which school is out, so they didn't have the school ID. And he put them back onto the street in the rain without regard to these children's health or safety. And I'm on a fixed income. I have the money at the time to pay for it, which I would have done had I had the money. But I was just horrified that that decision was made to put these two young men back into the rain on the street with no shelter, because most of this, around this island, we do not have bus shelters for them to speak up. So I just thank you very much for your kind attention and for your service to our community.
Thank you very much.
Aloha County Council and council members, and a very happy day today with the anticipated acceptance of Kohanaiki Park. Great gratitude to everybody who worked on that, and just a lot of aloha. And it's one of the places where tourists and locals alike can have those magic days in the water with the family and everything. So really appreciate it. I'm going to start today speaking on Communication 307. Council, this is the request to hire special assist the Austin Community Development in real estate matters related to the Kamakoa Nui project. I want to start by thanking Lincoln Ashita Corp Council for the way that not only he presented this in the agenda, or whoever in Corp Council was responsible for that. They're giving us a lot of good information here that it is a step up from the practice house. Also, I think he's doing it the right way by agendizing it in both places. Here on the agenda under communications, also under executive session, should it go there. All matters are, but I'm taking
an application that had fair share provisions in it. It's because he opposed the way, he didn't think fair share was appropriate, and he opposed that. It was nothing personal to the particular situation. Now, I kind of take the same approach here. What I say is, if this county operated like all other counties under general law regarding affordable housing, with respect to you folks sitting as the county housing agency, which is absolutely nonsense. You're not supposed to be sitting in an executive branch position. The county housing agency is an executive agency under the Office of Housing and Community Development. State law wanted the people to be sitting as the actual county housing agency to be, let's see, low income, truly experienced housing developers, affordable real estate experts, and real estate, land law, and contract attorneys that deal with real estate all the time. So in other words, they wanted an advisory group from the general community that may have had the answers to the problems you're coming up against now, and you need to hire special counsel. I don't doubt the need I mean, I don't think Lincoln in any way is being frivolous. I understand there probably is a need for you to approve this, and it's more the mechanism, how we got there. How did we get in this situation? There's an awful lot, in my estimation, of contracts. 30 seconds, there's an awful lot, thank you for that. There's an awful lot of contracts, Kamakoa Nui and others, where it seems like there's insufficient language to protect the county's interests. And I wonder if these people that draft these things and approve them, would they be reprimanded in a private law firm, or does it just go on and on and on? Maybe if our county housing agency was staffed appropriately under state general law as it's supposed to be, these matters wouldn't be arising so often. That's all in 307. Resolution 18, establish a real property tax stakeholders task force. You know, I've been trying to find my copy of the draft, the IAAO report, and number one, it's a great thing that you're getting into this and you're going to work the problems out that we have. I generally say that I think we need to broaden the scope. Because you're putting together a special task force, you need to name
its scope and its boundaries, what it will investigate. And I know they need to be somewhat tight, and I'm arguing saying they need to broaden the scope to alternative property tax mechanisms such as flat rate minimums, fair share minimums, etc., or hybrid systems where you use something of the current system and you also use a flat rate minimum on if you can take advantage of, say, homeowner exemptions. Things such as this. Without that IAAO report on me, and I have been able to find it for about 3 months, I can't say whether those items are in there or not, so I'm just hoping you include that. Thank you, enough said on that. Resolution 118 authorizes finance director to sell real property in the Kamakaua Nui workforce housing community at Waikoloa to Habitat for Humanity. I wholeheartedly support this. You know, I hope there aren't any legal problems or hang-ups. Habitat is a great organization. The gentleman a few weeks back was reporting to you that they were thinking they could get these in the neighborhood of 130,000, 165,000. That's what we need. It's truly affordable. We've heard all these crazy numbers from 380,000 up projected on projects that are still called affordable. We can't fathom that. That doesn't make any sense to the folks of this community. So if Habitat can pull this off, I support them wholeheartedly, man. You know, in the future, I'd like to actually help them out physically down there. Resolution 119, same thing. This is, well, it's again looking for a real property and education training facility supplying real property lease to Habitat for Humanity so they can train some of the people. And also, I think this is about the site where they would be doing recycled building materials. So I support that wholeheartedly. Enough on that. Resolution 125. Okay, I've got something here that just might be crazy, but this is Resolution 125, authorizing the extension of the public sewer from Keana Lehu Drive through the proposed Phase 1 Akau development of Laiopua Village 4 subdivision. You know, we do this all the time, and it's a good thing, and having real sewers that go to properly maintained sewer treatment plants is a good thing for the community. And then when developers, in this case the developer is DHHL, or the prime developer, when the developers build this expensive infrastructure that actually benefits everybody to some degree, they're allowed to get a compensation 10 years after completion of their work. That's a good system for helping them pay back the high costs up front. But what I'm thinking here is with all these attempts that the council is trying to come up with ways to bring people up to date on delinquent fees, delinquent property tax, delinquent solid waste tipping fees, what else have we got? Water, sewer fees. DHHL, to my understanding, still owes, by their own agreement, quite a bit of real property taxes to the County of Hawaii. I'm wondering if somehow through this Section 2128A-reimbursement mechanism, if there's a way where the county can get reimbursed for its tax delinquency. In other words, we may be helping them out to do this development in certain ways, even though they're footing the bill and, you know, taking the largest share of the initial financial hit. It's a way where it wouldn't take DHHL straight out of their pocket. It's the people who hook into the sewer system later on who pay DHHL. Maybe a small percentage of that, we could have a possibility of starting to pay off their property tax debt. So I'm just trying to find a creative way to take care of a problem and that's the least onerous to everybody involved there. By the way, DHHL, I support them very much, but they do create an a burden on maintenance of county facilities. And all these construction infrastructure gets deeded over to the county. All the people of the county are responsible for maintenance on that cost, which comes out of our property tax. DHHL generally doesn't pay property tax on the homes themselves. So there's a big deficit created there. On that, Resolution 129-13. Well, my note here was congratulations. The only thing I didn't like was the easement, the language actually in the agenda. I don't know the details of it. I heard Mr. Ewan speak. It sounded like he was explaining it, but what he said doesn't jive with the exclusive easement language to KOH. When Mr. Ewan stated that it was open to the public and it's just not you're going to drive in there, if that's the same easement you're speaking of, I don't get this thing. It says includes granting KOH exclusive easement without resort to public auctions and accepts the grant of the public access easement. It sounds like two different easements. To me, if the county is actually granting an exclusive easement And if it's for the purposes that people would normally use an easement for, like the general public, then it's equivalent to a sale to me. And if the law requires that to go out to public auction, it just doesn't sound right, that's all. And I hope someone can further explain and add on to Mr. Ewan's explanation. I agree with him that it is good to have not so much traffic, that can kill our parks off. And I think that's enough said on that one, other than I hope someone does give a better explanation or further explanation. Resolution 131, I support this. Thank you, Ms. Willie. I think the fact that you're talking about scuba spearing is what needs to be focused on here. Scuba spearing is, a lot of times, it's called sportsmanship, but it can just be meat gathering too, and our reefs can't support that. It depends. They can support maybe one guy, but maybe not too many people, and really easy to deplete the reefs off out here. Bill 71, hoping anyone, I appreciate Ms. Shelley's explanation earlier. I just hope, again, anyone of you please explain this exemption, how it actually works. Just ignorant facts there. Bill 85, this is relating to the county code, relating to the motor vehicle fees. As I stated before, the county seems to be operating legally when you're talking about the minimum weight tax and also the vehicle weight tax. But when you get into this real fuzzy quote county vehicle registry, that was manufactured by the counties without any state authorization. Now, why I bring that up is because the state has jealously guarded all motor vehicle registration fees for over 80 years. A long time ago on Oahu, there were serious problems with people importing vehicles, and the county territorial, or whoever it was, DMVs, to use a generic term, would not register them. They were favoring their buddies and their business partners, and maybe they were even taking kickbacks for not registering outside vehicles that should register. A lot of the motor vehicle registration laws were written against the people registering the vehicles. They were saying, you can't screw around on this.
You got to keep it affordable for the people of this state. And what they did was every single fee is very specifically spelled out where the county does have wiggle room and where they don't. Motor vehicle tax, county can put it at whatever you deem necessary. That's the language they use. So that is where you should be getting your entire fees from now. My only gripe with that is I'm in favor of that. I said, I thought those monies were going to go to road repairs and pothole repairs. They're not. That's what we find out now. At least that's what I've heard, is that this money is going to go entirely to mass transit. Now, I recognize mass transit is good for me as an individual motor vehicle driver. But there's no balance here. It's all going one way. I object to that. That is dead wrong, and I think the mayor's making a huge political mistake. It's going to take a little time to come out about that. So my recommendation to the county is stay within the law where you don't have any problem. Put your full increase that you deem necessary in motor vehicle weight tax. There's a little bit more fairness in that where the heavier vehicles pay more for the more wear and tear that they put on the road due to the physics of the situation. So, but when you talk about the county quote registration fee, you're going from 5 to 12. You're increasing that $7. It doesn't go to highway fund. It goes into the general fund, and it's not legally authorized. County is abusing 46-1.5, the powers and limitations of the county. 30 seconds remaining. Try to wrap you up, and I hope I haven't bored you all to death on that. Also, I think I'm finding out people are coming up to me and shaking my hand and thanking me for bringing this up at the council and not laying down about it. You know that? And what I'm finding out is it kind of makes me mad a little bit because no young people are interested. The only people doing this seem to be, if I were to do some really lousy junk science, I'd say anyone who's seen these council meetings and me bringing this up, they got to be over 45 to actually read the laws and understand it. So thank you very much. I just want the county to do the right thing here and not get in trouble. Let's see. Bill 86. This one does make me mad. Again, do I live in this county? I wake up and I get really fed up about this. We talk all this aloha. Well, who puts the aloha on the shelf next to their public accolades and your dignitary certificates and all that, and pull it out of your pocket when you think you want to use it, and then put it away when you don't want it? What are we even doing in this county pretending we can't afford to give disabled people a free ride? $1, $2,
$2. That's all I'm gonna say on this. You know, it's really easy to go from respect from people that you truly respect to contempt when you see things like this. So I don't speak for the students here today. I don't speak for the seniors. Plenty of seniors got money. I mean, I would ask you to try to keep the fees as affordable as possible, but to try to tap money out of disabled folks for riding a bus system in lieu of the history of where we've been with mass transit and what we're trying to accomplish, I find it reprehensible. And sorry, I leave out of here disgusted today. Sorry, I'd rather be respecting you. But again, my congratulations and gratitude to all of those that worked on Kohanaiki. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. I'm going to take the two testifiers in Pahoa and then come back to Kona. So, Pahoa.
Okay, the next testifier is Joan Galante in support of bills number 82 and 83.
Thank you.
Good morning. I've come here this morning. I'm a resident of Hawaiian Paradise Park, and I ask for your support for bills 82 and 83. I'm in favor of the police being able to enforce the speed limits on our roads for the safety factor and also because of the issue of dust on unpaved roads. It is a health hazard, and I really ask your support in helping us to solve this problem. Thank you very much.
The next testifier. His name is James Hanada, and he's in opposition of bill number 86.
Hi, my name is James Hanada, and I oppose bill 86 because I'm a frequent bus rider. I live on a fixed income, and I'm about to start school in August, so that'll make me a student, and increasing the bus fare would put a damper on my finances, and I find it hard right now just paying $1 sometimes, and doubling that would really make it hard on me, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. At this time, we'll come back to Kona, and I'd like to introduce Former Mayor Harry Kim speaking on Resolution 129 and 130.
Thank you very much, Mr. Young, members of council. It's great to see so much participation. In regards to Kohanaiki, truthfully, I could talk about it a long time in regards to what I feel about it. But last night when I was called by a Kona reporter, I was excited about it, and somehow the word excitement never did come to bear with me in describing what I feel about Kohanaiki. It's a mixed feeling of goodness and a lot of feelings of hope. I think Kohanaiki is a template for the state, especially this county, but the state and every place else, of a relationship, what can be in regards to the developer or landowner and the people. For those of you, and I say a lot of you, that are not familiar with the background of Kohanaiki, listen to one statement made by both Mr. Criscione and Angel Pilago. 15 years of battle. This is how far back it went before they decided to sit down, and this is where I first met Mr. Yoff as a citizen, not a council, and Mr. Pilago and James Sogi. Mr. Pilago and Mr. Sogi were the two people that worked on this continuously for, if I remember correctly, 8 to 9 months to get to where it is before you today. This is more than acceptance of a beach park. This is a specialness of a developer, of the names of a Rudder Development, of Ray Rudder and Dave Eady and Mr. Bill McMorrow of Kennedy Wilson. Like I said, I could go on the gratitude I feel for a community to empowering themselves to do this. This is special. This is something you as county council, the county government of Hawaii, should hold up as a template to all developers that come to Hawaii. And I mean all developers. And the key was help make Hawaii a better place. We know they have to make money. This is what's told to Mr. McMorrow. But the key was, please try to help make this a better place for the people that they call home. Now, and with this, share for the first time in public, Mr. McMorrow came to my office, asked for advice and possible, guidance in regards to where do we go with Kohanaiki. They owned the tens of thousands of dollars, which I wanted because we were broke. And he's an investor and he has to make money. And developer after developer would come in and they would get out of it once they saw the public opposition. And this is, the message to him was that, Mr. McMorrow, I ask of you to help take some straws of the relationship between the developer and the people of this land. I ask you to try to understand what they feel of this very special place. He took the time to walk that land, and this is what he told me. That he was walking the land of Kohanaiki, and this is a haole, and don't get offended by the word, all right? My wife is a haole, and that's the way I was brought up. It's not offensive. He's a haole from the mainland, very wealthy man, obviously. And he said that he was talking to his wife on the cell phone as she was walking the land of Kohanaiki, and he told me that he said to his wife, I have a very funny feeling surrounding me right now walking this land. It's almost a spiritual feeling. And I know it is that in part, that guided him to try to work with the community to empower it, that this is a special place of the people. I ask you not only to embrace this, I ask you to hold this as a template for all developers on what can be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Rebecca Villegas.
Aloha, my name is Rebecca Villegas, and I have the honor and the privilege of being the current president of the Kohanaiki Ohana. The term that comes to mind today is fruition, and I did a quick Google search, and the definition is the point at which a plan or project is realized, when success occurs, the realization of fulfillment, enjoyment, accomplishment. This has been a journey of diplomacy, compromise, and collaboration. I'm grateful for the opportunity, both personally and professionally, to participate in this process. We've created a model for future coastline developments, bridging the gap between government, developers, and community interests. Mahalo to the Kohanaiki leadership team, past, present, and future. Mahalo also to the leaders in our government, those that made decisions that brought us here this day, and those that are in positions of leadership with the development companies who have interests in Kohanaiki. Mahalo for their vision, their dedication, and commitment to finding the best possible solutions regarding the stewardship of Kohanaiki. I am honored to be a part of this legacy. I consider it my kuleana and look forward to the future of our park. I am in complete support of Bills 129 and 130 and look forward to our continued journey, holding hands. We have lots more compromise ahead of us. We have lots more interesting issues. There is lots of change. But change is a constant and suffering is optional. And I look forward to continuing this legacy of support, positivity, and finding solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If the audience is not aware, there's a bathroom right outside the double doors, and I think at this time I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute recess for the council members, and we'll come right back. Thank you.
Shelley, the third, the district court one. I was lucky enough to save one old man his house for a while on the district court one. It was Judge Moran, and he was trying to get the old boy to just say it. And then they took a short recess. I got one of the social workers.
Yeah.
I said, listen, you got to tell that guy that he's not sure. Tell the judge he's not sure if this is a proper court for the land title stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And it was a guy repossessing it. He was a shark. He was a Hawaiian guy.
Right.
Running these quick mortgages on people, super high interest rate. And he got this guy's house. He scammed it out of him. But the guy was able to regroup, get his attorneys together, hang on to the house for a while longer. But same thing. And Dwight always been telling me that too.
If you contact
But
Gumapat.
how many have actually gone through district court? I mean,
Well, that's my question. Who is the district court?
well, the judges are supposed to recuse. They're just supposed to tell them straight out.
No, but that's what I need to know. Who is the district court? Because I got a phone call from the Nez Perce Indian Reservation, a whole bunch of other attorneys and whatnot. They said you're looking at a statewide class action lawsuit for any Hawaiian land that went through a district court.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And it's by their own
crazy.
signed seal document.
And that's well
That's it.
known. The judges are supposed to know that stuff, so it's not your burden to say, Judge,
Does that
I think your
include-
jurisdiction's messed up
Does
here."
that include roads in limbo?
Roads in limbo.
By the way, to
Yeah, it's in limbo.
prevent future misunderstanding, it's pronounced ne per se.
Ne per se?
Yeah.
Oh, Nez Perce, ne per se. Okay.
Do you know, I didn't have time to look this up, are the bus fees dedicated to the bus, or do they go in a general fund?
Good question. I'm not sure on that. I know I did I catch that part lately? No. I was looking under the registration fees. See, that's that fee that's going from 5 to 12. They wrote it in here, you know, the general heading and stuff on this stuff, making it sense going to the highway fund, and it doesn't. I had this in court, and the judge refused to even look at any of this stuff. It's a big difference between whether it's a tax or a legitimate fee. And number one, the judge would not even look at the stuff I was saying about the state of that stuff. When you go through the entire history on this stuff, there is not one fee that the state allows the counties. The state was almost paranoid that they even use opening a can of worms. There's phrases in legislative history like, you don't want to give the counties a free hand in this. If you do, you open a can of worms on taxation, they're going to beat up everybody. No one will be able to afford a damn car registration, right? But that was the thing for 80 freaking years. It started with graft. I mean, well, I don't know if it's graft, but it was the registration officers, whether they were territorial or county or whatever, they were working with the new car dealers. So they weren't registering people that deserved to have their cars registered. But when you read through the language on those, the director shall, when presented with this, the director shall do this. It's very saying, you don't force around, and you don't charge any extra fees. It's point blank.
Nothing good in the paper.
Yeah, there's only one phrase in there that someone could look at and argue with me and say, oh yeah, but what about that part that says and other laws? Now that was 80 years back. That was in territorial days, right? They were not talking about county ordinances. They were recognizing that there's 50 laws related to the whole motor vehicle thing, and it evolved into county weight tax and.
I mean, I would find it ironic if this new fee on vehicles is going to mass transit, but mass transit is not going to mass transit.
I just want to see a fair balance. I totally get it that mass transit is good for individual drivers, but Billy's making a big mistake on this. Well, see, they'll just backtrack. They're going to backtrack off of that. It's not in print anywhere. How that came about, what I said was Warren Lee came down and told the council he's not getting a penny. And he may have done it in recess or something, but he told Brent and some other folks that he's not getting a penny of that for road maintenance. Yeah, on the registration fee increases. So
I'd say get rid of the VIN number.
Actually, two of these people from court counsel just flat out lied in the court case I had. And now Nancy tries to talk as if it's precedent setting. It was a $1 appeal of a finance director's decision. It's the lowest possible court thing you could ever have. And I mean, only like 4 weeks ago, Lincoln told them on that thing in Kahu, the court case on the, what was it? They failed to look at the whole watershed and trees and everything, right? Natural resource protection. And so it was the appeal of the Board of Appeal and Bobby G. Lincoln Todd's decision, right? In that, Margaret put in a resolution requesting, court counsel just to accept the decision. Here on that one, Lincoln says, actually, you should appeal it, because for a thing to be law, you want, right? You want it to be set in concrete law. You need to get it up that level of court.
So now coming in, and there's a court case on these registries. language. They could do it
Oh, here.
if you go down to get a new license plate, on that one says, there may be one that says now counties can charge what's reasonable, right? But what it used to say, and what it started out as, and I think it still is, by saying if you research it, I might be talking about the wrong thing. Say, all besides motor vehicle registration, all actual costs licensed, right? They say the guy, director can charge for the cost of manufacturing the plates as determined by CNC and Holy because they make them, we buy them, right? So everything is all accounted for, plus the diminished costs of processing it and doing it. So you see, they've already covered all the motor vehicle registration costs, administrative costs.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off now because I'm trying to concentrate on my testimony.
Got you. But see, they're playing with fire.
Yeah.
So I gave them the best thing. Put all your increase in the weight tax side. Yeah. And that can also go to, that does go to highway fund, which can go to mass transit, right? So they cover their butts if they did that, right?